Hello students, today we will study chapter 11 transportation in animals and plants. In that, about circulation in blood, about blood groups we have studied already in earlier two videos. In this video we will study about excretion in animals. What is excretion? The process of removing waste from the body, that is called excretion. Excretion is necessary, that is because whatever waste materials are produced in the various life processes, metabolic processes that take place in the cells in our body. So whatever waste materials are produced, that if it is accumulate in the body, they may cause toxic effect on the body. So their removal is necessary from the body, otherwise the person may not survive. Whatever waste materials are produced in the body, that may be in gaseous form such as carbon dioxide, that may be in liquid form such as urine, that may be in solid form such as feces or stool. So this stool is not for sitting, this stool is waste material, that is feces. In pathology you may have listened about stool test. In the stool test the pathologist do the test of feces. They by that they find out that what part of the body is not functioning properly. Related to that, some symptoms come in the feces. By that they find out that the malfunctioning of the body. So wastes are either in gaseous form or in liquid form or in solid form. Gaseous waste like carbon dioxide is removed through the respiratory system, that is carried through the blood from every cell. Whatever carbon dioxide is produced in the cells, so they are carried through the blood vessels to the lungs, and from there it is exhaled out and that is removed from the body. Feces, that is the undigested part of the food materials. Whatever food we take, after digestion, absorption take place. After absorption, whatever nutrients are there, they are absorbed in the body, and remaining part, that is the waste for the body. So that is removed after the large intestine. It reached into the rectum, and from the rectum it is removed through the anus from the body. So through the alimentary canal it is removed. Whatever main excretory system in the body is there, that is in front of you, that removes urine from the body. For removing urine also have various waste materials like urea, etc. The main excretory product in human beings is urea. So that is present in the urine. In excretory system, this is the excretory system in human. Excretory system in human, it have two kidneys. This is kidney. It have two kidneys, one on either side of the backbone in the abdomen, one on left side of the backbone and one on the right side of the backbone. In the abdomen it is present. These kidney are the main organs, main excretory organ, which separate urine from the blood. For that purpose, it is attached with the blood vessels. This is the blood vessels. Through it, whatever branches come out that go into the arteries. So that this is renal artery. And this is renal vein. So renal artery provide blood to the supply blood to the kidney. Through the renal artery blood go into the kidney, and through the renal vein it come back into from the kidney. Inside the kidney there are small units for the filtration of urine. That small units are called nephron. The diagram is here. This is nephron. nephron it is, nephron, nephron. This is one nephron. Like this, approx 1.2 million, approx 1.2 million nephron are present in one kidney. From here, it is one nephron. The part of nephron, if we talk, that is this part is called Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule, and in it blood come through this blood vessels and come out from here. So after entering into the Bowman's capsule, this blood vessel branch into various thin branches. So this thin branches is called glomerulus. Glomerulus, the thin branches branching of the blood vessel into the Bowman's capsule is called glomerulus. So when blood enter into the kidney, it goes through the branches of renal artery. They are the renal arterioles, you can say. They are the, this is the renal arteriole. Renal arteriole, that is the branch of renal artery. So when it enters into the Bowman's capsule, here it branch in fine branches, and since blood is coming through thick blood vessel and here it is entering into the thin blood vessel, so a little pressure increases here and urine is filtered out from the blood. Urine is filtered out from the blood, and this urine come through this tube and at last it come into the this thick duct, that is called collecting duct. That is called collecting duct. It is called collecting duct. And in this collecting duct, at various places, as you are seeing here, that branch like structure have been made. So at every this structure, one nephron are attached. So this collecting duct, from the nephron, urine come into the collecting duct, and these collecting ducts join, many collecting ducts join and form a thick tube, and that comes out from the kidney, that is called ureter. This is called ureter, and through the ureter, urine comes into the urinary bladder. Urinary bladder, and from here, when it is felt, then it is thrown out through the urethra, through urinary opening. The opening is called, opening through which it is thrown out, this is urinary opening. It is urinary opening. So this is how excretion of urine take place from the body. It is separated into the kidney. For this purpose, approx 1.2 million excretory units are there. They are called nephron. The diagram of one nephron is here. So 1.2 million nephron in one kidney and 1.2 million in other kidney. Means approx 1.2 plus 1.2 equal to 2.4. Approx 24 lakh nephrons are present in both kidney for the filtration of urine from the blood. And after filtration, the urine is collected into the collecting duct, and from there these collecting ducts join and rejoin, means many collecting ducts join and form a thick tube, and then it comes out from the kidney and carrying the urine. This then urine come through the ureters into the urinary bladder, and from the urinary bladder it is thrown out through urinary opening from the urethra. So this is how excretion take place in human beings. Now for the doctors, sometimes doctors advise for the urine test when you go to the hospital. So sometimes doctors advise for the urine test. So that is because in the urine, during the filtration of urine from the blood, some components, some substances, some chemicals may come out, या some blood cells may come out in the urine, that by test of the urine the doctors can find out that which part of the body is not working properly, maybe kidney is not working properly, so then glucose may come out. So glucose, means if glucose is coming, it means insulin is not being secreted in the body. So it means by the urine test doctor find out that which part of the body is not working properly. For that only doctor advise for the urine test. After this, now we will discuss about transportation of substances in plants, या transportation in plants. Transportation of substances in plants. So as in our body or in the body of animals, as the various substances are required by the every cells, and that substances are supplied, carried to the cell, wherever the cell is present, so through the blood circulation. So like that in plants also, all the cells required various components of food and water, mineral, etc. So that is supplied to the cells. For that purpose, there are two type of tissues are present, that is xylem and phloem. Xylem tissues and phloem tissues. These xylem tissues form xylem vessels and phloem tissues form phloem vessels, and this is collectively called vascular bundle. Vascular bundle have xylem vessels and phloem vessels. Xylem vessels are made up of xylem cells, xylem tissue, and xylem help in transportation of water and minerals. Transportation of water and minerals. Water and minerals. Water and minerals are absorbed by the roots of the plant. Whatever roots of the plants are there that absorb water. Suppose this is plant and it's its root. So its root branch in fine branches. At last it branches in very fine hair-like structures. So these hair-like structures are called root hairs. Root hairs. Root hairs are so fine that they reach in between the soil particles, and whatever water is there in between the soil particles, that is absorbed by the root hairs. Root hairs are unicellular structures. They are unicellular structures present at the surface of the root, and whatever water and minerals are absorbed, water that they absorb water because of concentration difference, water is absorbed by the root hairs, and minerals are also dissolved in water. So minerals also come with the water when water is absorbed. So water and minerals reach into the root hairs. From the root hairs, suppose this is root hair. So from it root hair cell, it come to the neighboring cell, from that next cell. At last they reach whatever xylem vessels are present into the stem. From the root cells, it reach to the stem, and in the stem, xylem vessels are there. Through that water and minerals rise up to the height of the trees and up to the every leaf of the plant or trees. So water and minerals rise into the stem through the xylem vessels and reach up to the leaves. In the leaves, whatever midrib you may have seen structure of leaf. So yeah, you may have drawn also. So this in middle there is a structure that is called midrib. So midrib and veins, all the veins that have xylem and phloem vessels in it, and through that when water and minerals absorbed by the roots that reach up to the stem. In the stem xylem vessels are there. Through the xylem vessels it reach up to the leaves, and in leaves whatever midrib and veins are there, in that midrib and veins again xylem vessels and phloem vessels are present. So through that xylem vessels water and minerals reach to the leaves. And whatever food is prepared into the leaves, that is carried through the phloem vessels, that is carried through the phloem vessels, carried through the phloem vessels, and it is transported to every part of the plant. To every part means to the leaves, branches, stem, root, because all the cells whatever present in the root, stem, leaves, branches, that all cell need the food prepared by the leaves. So it is transported through the phloem vessels to all part of the plant. Transportation of food take place upward and downward also, because downward root is present, root cells also need the food prepared by the leaves. So transportation take place upward also and downward also, but transportation of water and minerals through the xylem vessels take place upward only. That is because water is absorbed by the roots, water and minerals are absorbed by the roots, and that is required, it is present at the inside the soil, water and minerals are present in the soil and roots are also present in the soil. So it moves upward only to the root cells and stem and leaves and branches. This rise of water and minerals into the xylem vessels is called ascent of sap. Ascent of sap. Up this rise of water and minerals take place up to the so much tall trees. How it is possible? So it is possible because of the process of transpiration. Whatever transpiration take place, transpiration you may know, transpiration is the process of loss of water through the stomata from the leaves. So that is called transpiration. In this process, whatever water is there in the plant body absorbed through the roots, that after use that is removed from the leaves, from the plant through the leaves, from the leaves through the stomata. So yeah, extra water that is also transpirated. Now you may think that what is the need to waste water by the process of transpiration? If there is to lose it only, then why the roots absorb? So that is because transpiration increase the rate of absorption, and if the rate of absorption will increase, then the availability of more water and more minerals will be there to the plants. So to provide a sufficient amount of minerals, there is need of absorption of more and more water, so that more and more minerals can be absorbed for the plant. So transpiration is necessary for that, and by the transpiration when water loss take place through the stomata, so that cause a suction pull, upward suction pull it causes, because as when we drink any liquid with the help of straw, so then when we suck, the liquid rise into the straw. Like that, transpiration also cause suction pull. Because of that suction pull, the water and minerals rise to the xylem vessels up to the tall trees, up to the leaf tip of the tall trees. So transpiration help in ascent of sap. Transpiration also leaves cooling effect on the leaves in summer season, in very hot condition, that may harm to the cells of the leaves. But transpiration leaves cooling effect on the leaves, so it saves tissues of the leaves from the very hot condition. So these are the benefits of transpiration. This transpiration may be affected by various factors, that is time of the day. If in morning rate of transpiration will be low, as the temperature will increase, means as the sunlight will come, then the transpiration rate will increase. And temperature, if the temperature will be more, then transpiration will be more. If the temperature will be less, the transpiration will be less. Humidity also affect the rate of transpiration. Humidity means the moisture present in the air, that is called humidity. So that also affect the rate of transpiration. If the air will be humid, then the rate of transpiration will be low, because whatever water loss will be there from the stomata, that will not absorb into the air. So rate of transpiration will decrease. And if the air will be dry, means humidity will be less, then the rate of transpiration will be more, because whatever water loss will be there, that will be at once absorbed into the air. Wind, if wind is not blowing, then again the rate of transfer will be affected, because whatever water vapor will come out from the stomata, that will remain in surrounding of the plant, and the water absorption capacity of the air will reduce, so transpiration will decrease. And if wind is blowing, the moist air is taking away from the surrounding of the plant, then the rate of transpiration will increase. Light also increases the rate of transpiration. This is because light causes the stomata to open. So when light is present, photosynthesis takes place, and then the stomata opens. So that also help in increasing the rate of transpiration. So this was about this chapter. If you have any confusion, you will ask question. Till then, thank you.